Hello, awesome students! Welcome to my class. Today we are going to learn about modal verbs. So, what are modal verbs? Does anyone know? Well, let me explain it to you. Modal verbs, also called modals, modal auxiliary verbs, or modal auxiliaries, are special verbs that behave irregularly in English, so they are not the same as main verbs. Modal verbs are those helping verbs which express the mode of the actions of the main verbs, and later we'll discuss about the modes here. Because they are a type of auxiliary or helping verb, they are used together with main verb of a sentence. So modal cannot stand alone in a sentence, but it needs a main verb to complete the sentence. Modal verbs can only be used alone when the main verb is clearly understood. Modal verbs express modes such as ability, possibility, probability, permission, and also obligation. Actually, there are still some more. Now, let's see the examples of modal verbs. Can be in the form of present tense or in the past tense. In the present form, there are will, can, may, shall, must, to have to, and in the past form, there are would, could, might, should, ought to, or had to. Now, do you know the functions of modal verbs? Seen from the examples, I think we can use it to talk about intention. That's right. The modals like will, would, and shall can be used to express intention. What else? To express wish using may. That's true. Could you make it into sentence? May you have a long life. Excellent! Now, let me show you some other functions of modal verbs along with the examples in sentences. Please pay attention. First, modals can be used to express ability, like can and could. For examples, my little brother can swim well, or she could speak English fluently. Here in the two sentences, the modals can and could is used to express ability of my little brother to swim and of she to speak English fluently. So we can use can and could. Second one is to express possibility. We can use modals like could, may, and might. For examples, it might rain during the night, or you may become the youngest member of the club. Here, might and may are used to express possibility, that it is possible to rain during the night. Next is to ask for permission. We can use may, can, and could. For example, may I borrow your pen? The fourth one is to make a request. We can use will, would, can, or could. For example, could you please open the door? Modals can also be used to give suggestions or advice. You can use should or ought to. For example, they ought to apologize. That is an advice using modal ought to. Last one is to state about obligation or necessity. We can use modals like must, have to, and need to. For examples, you must obey the rule, or we have to wait for him to arrive. Here we use must and have to state about necessity. So, those are some functions of modal verbs. Did you get it? Do you have any questions about modal verbs? How to make questions using modals, miss? Good question! I will tell you how to use modals in questions, but first let's see how to use them in affirmative and negative sentences first. A modal is always used with a verb in its basic form. So it's always followed by verb 1 in affirmative sentences. Let's see the examples. First, they can be good friends. Next, Lucy will join us tomorrow. The first one, the modal can is followed by be, verb 1. And in the second one, the modal will is followed by join, verb 1, 2. Next, the modal doesn't change according to the number or person of the subject. So the number of the subject doesn't affect the modal's form. Let's see the examples. He can learn from this book. Second one, he can't learn from this book. In your opinion, which one is the correct sentence according to the subject and the modal? Yes, the first one is the correct one, because in the second one, he can. We cannot add as after modals, even if the subject is the third person singular like he. Now, add not after modals to make negative sentences. It's that simple to add not after modal. Let's see the examples. You may not use the car tonight, or I can't stand it anymore. In the first sentence, may is added by not to make the sentence negative, may not. And in the second one, can is added by not, but it is contracted into can't. And it's also a correct form. Finally, to make questions, we invert the subject and the modal verb. So in questions, the position of subject and modal is different with affirmative and negative sentences. Let's see. May I help you? The modal come first before the subject. And in the second one, when will you go to Bali? The modal will come first before the subject you. And the verb that follow the modals are verb 1, always. Well, I think that's all for today. Hope you all understand the material well. Thanks for your attention. See you in the next session.